If we think about simulations, it's easy just to think about the benefit for students. They get something fun to do, they get something engaging to do, they can really see the value, and I think the argument for that is made quite simply and obviously. What's less obvious is the argument for why we as instructors should be interested from it. What do we get from it? I'm not going to pretend that this is a cost-free exercise by any means. There's a lot of preparatory work, there's a lot of close observation, there's a lot of feedback. So at all the stages through using simulation, you as an instructor are going to be engaged. So it's not a free ride by any means. So what's the benefit? I think the benefits are several. Firstly, using simulations changes the dynamic of a classroom. It focuses on student learning. It creates space for the student body to develop their own understandings in a way that is much more difficult if we're simply giving a conveyor belt kind of model where we're just giving lectures and saying, here's lots of stuff, go and work it out for yourselves. So in terms of valorizing student knowledge, in terms of giving them some confidence to understand that they have views and that they can share those with other people and that they have a value to other people, are really useful processes for the dynamic of the classroom. The second key thing I think that's really good about simulations is that often it's a good way to get over what we might term difficult subjects. Sometimes we come across subjects in all of our fields, whatever our discipline, that are frankly very complicated or very dry and are hard to make into engaging lectures or those kinds of passive models for the students. And simulations, in many cases, I think offer an opportunity to students to live those experiences, live those phenomena in a way that makes it much more interesting for them, helps them to understand the complexity. Because with a simulation you can do something very simple, but you can do something much more complicated as well, which allows students to integrate a lot of different aspects together in a way that really you can't do in the linear delivery of a lecture. So it opens up difficult subjects. It engages students. But also, I think for us as instructors, it helps us to reflect on the process of learning. That all too often we think about teaching as a side activity to research. I think that's particularly true here in the UK. But clearly teaching is a fundamental part of our academic activity. And that's why we have these resources put together for you, because we want you to understand that this is a fundamental part of our job. And I think the more that we can reflect on those processes, how can we help our students? Because I think ultimately we all do want to help our students get the most out of their time at university. We need to not simply go on how things used to be. So simulations, I think, give us a way into a new kind of pedagogy, a new way of focusing on students, focusing on their needs, having flexibility that let us then explore other kinds of pedagogies that we might consider.